Put your PC in perspective now on BBC Two with a new series of Computers Don't Bite.
Welcome to a brand new series of Computers Don't Bite, the Beginner's Guide. This is the programme that could change your life. My name's Carol Vorderman.
And I'm Adrian Childs, and together we're going to ease you into the computer age. It looks as if we're all growing into it nicely, actually. In an exclusive poll for us, NOP shouted the letters PC at you, and 4 out of 5 shouted back, not politically correct or police constable, but shouted back personal computer.
Well, if you know what the words mean but are baffled by the machines themselves, don't worry. Over the next 6 jargon-free weeks, we'll be showing you all sorts of things to help turn your computer into one of your best friends. So let's start in today's programme. Walford goes worldwide behind the scenes as EastEnders hits the internet. Look, no keyboard, the handheld computer which reads your writing. And yes, the best computer you can buy for under £800. First, the internet has finally arrived in Albert Square. Another good reason to get online if you haven't done so already. And while you're browsing the pages of the internet, or surfing the net as it's known, you may wonder how the information gets onto it in the first place. Well, we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how the official EastEnders website has been created. Our guide, the actor Adam Woodyat, who plays the character Ian Beale.
You know computers are part of everyday life when even Doc Cotton is logging onto the internet to expose nasty lying son Nick. But in real life, I'm the Albert Square computer buff. When I log on, it's not just to play games, it's to write articles, keep in touch with friends via email. And now that Albert Square is officially online, the rest of the cast are all talking about computers too.
This woman walked in this computer shop and she said, I'd like a computer for my child, please. You know, I'm sorry, pal, he said, we don't do part exchanges. He said, oh, part exchange, part, good night.
And Adam has told me I must become computer fluent. So let's have a go at my expenses. See what I can fiddle on these, yeah.
Write my shopping list. Ah, now I can send somebody else off to do my shopping.
You can see it's so many uses, aren't you? I mean, fan mail, that sort of thing.
I had a petite typewriter when I was 7 months. I wrote a few poems, but this is completely different.
I'll hold it.
You hold it.
Get too technical.
I don't know anything about computers. Have you played it before? Oh, it spoke.
You know, I can't even work a video.
Now, you too can keep in touch with the cast of EastEnders. The BBC's own EastEnders website has just gone online, or started up if you don't want to get technical. It's not the first EastEnders website, but it's the official one. It includes an update on the latest episodes, a look back to classic moments of the past, and a question and answer page. There's even a Walford cam, which shows what's going on in Albert Square 24 hours a day. We'll all have to behave ourselves from now on. I always wanted to make a web page, and this is how it was done. Walford Tour is a virtual trip around Walford. You can stop off and investigate any part of the area, find out who lives where, and all about them. Now, somebody who looks a bit like me lives here. Now, if he's going to get on a web page, I've got to do something about it. So I better start taking some pictures. Photographs done, I then had to think about the words with web producer Bridget Goodman. All right, Bridget, we've got to get Mr. Beale on the web page, haven't we? So what information you got on him?
All right, well, I pulled everything off the database, gone through all the characters, and I found your stuff.
Oh, right, what have we got?
Do you know your first girlfriend?
Oh, I remember her. Oh,
Yeah?
That was a long time ago, wasn't it? I suppose we ought to mention that was in the first episode as well.
You were, weren't you?
Hey, Bob! What are you doing here? I really wouldn't want to see that again. I wouldn't. Then it was time to bring in web designer Joe Hooper.
So what we really need to do is think about the design and what you want on your site and what's really going to work.
All right, so what do we do with these pictures? How do I get them from my hand and into the computer?
Well, what we need to do is go and find a scanner and scan them in.
A scanner is a kind of photocopier which transfers pictures onto a computer. Once that was done, we could look at all the photographs and arrange them on the screen. In order to create a web page, you have to use a programming code called HTML, but it's not as confusing as it looks. Right, so what's the code for putting a picture on a web page?
The code you always use is image source equals. And then we have to type in the name of the picture, which in this case is...
Ian.jpg. It's mine.
That's correct. And the code should go and find that picture and insert it in the right place on the page.
Oh, great. Every part of our page was programmed in separately. Jo used HTML to instruct where things should go. She used a different bit of code to put in the text, the backgrounds, and even the colours on the page.
So if you want the page to have a purple background, you type in the HTML code, BG colour equals, and then you type in the code for purple, which is hash 663399.
Oh, wow. One step at a time, we built up Ian's web page. Each colour, each picture, each piece of text, saving them as we went along. Then all it took was a final press of a single button, and the web page was almost complete.
There we go.
Sorted. Watcher, I'm Ian Beale. First and foremost, I'm a businessman. Catering's my business. And the finishing touch? I recorded my voice as Ian Beale. So when you go to that part of the site, you can hear Ian as well as see him. Ian Beale's profile all finished and on the EastEnders website. The process isn't as difficult as I thought. Now, if you want to try this at home, there's plenty of software packages out there to help you, so you haven't got to worry about the code. Here's two in particular, Front Page 98, Hot Metal Pro. Both very easy. They do the code for you. You haven't got to worry about it. So check it out. Design your own web page.
6 Mars bars, 4 first-class stamps, £18,740. It's still wrong. It's no good. I can't do this. Why is Adam so keen to get us all into computers, eh?
And tonight, for the first time, you can chat online with Adam Woodyat, alias Ian Beale. So if you've got a question for Adam, or Ian for that matter, get yourself logged onto that website straight after EastEnders tonight at 8:30. A nail file your nails on. A computer file is what you store each document in. To open one, click on the Open File icon on your toolbar. A window opens showing you the list of files you've already created. Simply click on the one you want and open sesame. There it is.
You know a man's name and how old he is, and that 35 years ago he was living in the American state of Illinois, and you know he's your father and you want to find him. For 15 years you've searched in vain, and then you try the internet. Andy Webb reports.
35-year-old Mick Morley is a mounted policeman from Bedfordshire. After the early shift in Hyde Park, he's flying off to Los Angeles to meet his father for the very first time. He looked for him for 20 years without success, then finally found him through the internet.
So it's an incredible feeling. I'm actually going to meet my father, who's across the other side of the Atlantic, waiting, probably feeling just as nervous and apprehensive as I am.
1961, Mick Morley's mother met Morris Samuels, an American GI posted to Britain. They fell in love, but when she became pregnant, her family were horrified. Morris Samuels was moved to another base. They lost touch. She married another man. As soon as Mick Morley was old enough, he began searching for his real father. First contact, the airbase where Morris Samuels had been stationed in 1961.
I wrote to the US Air Force Administrative Departments to try and find out if they could actually help trace him, and got a very polite letter saying that if they did find my father, they would only be able to forward my address to him, and then it would be up to him to contact me.
But they never found him. Mick Morley tried the Red Cross and the US Missing Persons Department, but he didn't have enough information for them to search their records.
It demoralised me, I was fed up with it, and I'd virtually given up, until I went to stay with my friend Nick in Florida. And he gave me a real jump start. And he said, you try using the internet to trace him. And I said, Joe, you're joking. You know, using the internet, it never ever crossed my mind that you could actually trace somebody using a computer.
When Mick Morley got back from Florida, he signed up with one of the companies that hook you up to the internet at home, America Online. In October 1996, Mick typed in the instructions, search people, and entered the name Morris Samuels. The only thing he did know was that he was from the state of Illinois. The computer came up with 8 people who live in Illinois now, all called Morris Samuels.
I wrote to each of the 8 names and addresses to see if any of them had been a GI in the UK during the 60s, and they all responded except one. And Nick called him by telephone.
This person said, my name is Nick Ramirez, and I'm trying to get in contact with Maurice Samuels. So I'm thinking that if he don't know who I am, he's calling this number, then he's one of them crank callers.
But that was Mick Morley's father. The letter Mick sent had been lost in the post. The very next day, it finally arrived.
So I opened the letter, and it was like, like music, beautiful music dancing in words.
Sadly, using the internet doesn't guarantee that you'll find a long-lost friend or relative, but the technology is easy to use.
All you do is you go to what they call a search engine, and this is a web service that's available to everybody who is on the net. And you just use this search engine, type in the name of the person you're looking for, and see what comes up. The disadvantage is that all of the information on the internet isn't necessarily accurate or up to date, or it's not even available on the internet. And if you're lucky, you'll find who you're looking for, but probably, I'd say 50–60% of the time, maybe even a bit higher, you probably won't, at least in the first instance, and you have to do a lot of digging.
Mick Morley checks in at Heathrow Airport for his flight to Los Angeles, where he'll meet his father for the first time.
They're emotions that I've never felt before. There's a lot of different feelings that are whirling around inside my head. They're absolutely incredible feelings. After all these years, we're actually going to see each other for the first time ever. It's just an incredible feeling.
And I miss you.
What's going on there, man? You big, hey, man. Yeah. Now you big too. Huh? A big Bobby. Big Bobby. Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I'll tell you,
can't describe it.
I forgot I had my shades on. I think I say something.
I mean, meeting my dad's one thing, but meeting my brother and sister as well. I mean, that's just incredible.
They were just as in a cloud, just like I was.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
You look like you look like Daddy.
Now, if you have trouble organising your life, you may need one of these. It's an electronic personal organiser, known to computer buffs as a palm top. Why? Because it fits into the palm of your hand. Now, this is the clear market leader. It's made by Psion, and it's very compact. But, say the makers of this new thing, this may yet steal Psion's crown. This is the Palm 3, it's made by 3Com, and the big difference with this is that there is no keyboard. You literally write straight in. Now, we've given this to fitness expert Nikki Diamond to put it through its paces.
Up until today, organising my life has meant finding all the scraps of paper that I've written on to remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, all I need is this, the Palm 3. It claims to put information at your fingertips. The main feature of this computer is that it can recognise handwriting. Doesn't seem to be recognising mine, though. Maybe I'm not using it properly. Emily!
Mummy, it's the status A, B, and C. This is a F, this is a K, and this is a T. It's obvious.
It may be obvious to her, but not to me.
The computer has a handy game programmed into it called Giraffe. It's a simple way to learn the computer's alphabet.
Supposedly.
The Palm 3 comes ready loaded with real games too, but they are all fairly basic. Don't throw away your Game Boy yet.
At last, I've just about got to grips with a new alphabet. All I have to do now is download today's schedule from my computer.
This was very easy. The Palm Top has a universal adapter, which allows it to accept information from any computer terminal. No fiddly wires, just one button to press and all my information is downloaded onto the Palm Top. This is really great. My schedule's programmed into my Palm Top, and now it's time for those press-ups. The Palm 3 will warn you when you need to get going for your next appointment. Mine was lunch with my friend, model Jo Guest. Jo hasn't seen me yet, and she's got one of these too. Apparently, I can send her a message. This feature uses infrared technology, allowing two identical Palm Tops to communicate.
Mine can send faxes.
Mine can send email.
Mine can receive email.
Mine can search the net. Oh, time to go home. Bye, see you on Wednesday. I think this machine looks great. But at £299, is it really worth it? Pro points first. It's light, compact and user-friendly, has loads of games, links to your home computer or PC interface, is simple and effective. You can also get email and internet. And the cons are learning a new alphabet. It'd be quicker to type. The infrared beaming of information is more of a gimmick than a useful addition. Finally, to take full advantage of the Palm 3's functions, you need a laptop or desktop computer. There's one more thing you can do with this product. Play Star Trek! Beam me up, Scotty!
Cut and paste is a way of moving a section of text. Highlight the words you want to move, click on the scissors, place your cursor in the new position. When you click on the clipboard, the words have moved.
I ran the London Marathon the other week, hence the medal, and I was very, very highly placed in the over 16 stone category. And I might have done even better if I'd had some high-tech help, but I didn't get any high-tech help. But then again, I'm not a famous actor.
Somewhere amongst the peace of the Yorkshire Dales and the mooing of the cows, the stars of Emmerdale had a lot more to do than just learn their lines. Chris Chittell, who plays rogue Eric Pollard, and Edward Peel, alias Tony Cairns, were in training for the 26-mile haul to the finish line of the London Marathon, with a lot of high-tech help.
This is my first marathon, possibly my last. I'm hoping that the computers can run the marathon for me. I need every bit of help I can get.
I've run several marathons. I'm hoping computers can answer some of the questions that I have about the training program and how it's going.
Chris agreed to try out a heart rate monitor which connects up to a home computer. You wear a watch while you train. It picks up your heart rate signals from a chest strap. Once the information has been passed to the computer, it then plots a graph so you can see how you've done. Sports consultant and top marathon runner Sarah Roll showed Chris how to use it.
Now, we haven't actually got any information in here because you haven't started using it, but
Right.
once you have, this would go on,
Right.
and then it would download the information like that.
Right.
So if we look at one I prepared earlier, you can see how the blue line here shows you what your heart rate is. And so by using
This shows Chris how fast he's running and how hard his heart is working. As his training progresses, the blue line gets lower. So, although he's running the same distance in the same time, his heart rate is slower, and he'll know how to pace himself during the race itself.
So by using this, you can make sure that you run at the right intensity so that you don't run too hard too soon and you don't blow up at 20 miles in the marathon.
Edward logged onto the internet to check out some web pages on marathon training.
Okay, Edward, let's have a look and see what we can find for marathon running on the internet. The easy way of doing that is to use a search engine and just type in marathon and see what comes up. Or we can start by having a look at one of my favourite sites, which is this one.
The state-of-the-art homepage is packed with information on everything from choosing the right shoes to nutrition and exercise tips.
Okay. Let me give it a whirl. Then maybe we'll go out and have a run, eh?
Well, I'll watch, you'll run.
All right.
The one thing a computer can't do, of course, is get you out running. You have to do that for yourself.
If you're using a heart rate monitor when you're training, it allows you to get an instantaneous view of your heart rate. For those who are computer literate and who like to use computers, they can do all their recording of their training, and that allows them to analyse it. The downside of the internet, of course, is that anybody can set up a web page, so while you've got some very good information on there, you can also get some bad, misleading and potentially dangerous information.
After months of training, the big day approached, and Edward got some last-minute tips from the internet.
Right, what does it say here? Well, I never knew you had to eat so much carbohydrate. Another thing, I never realised how much water I'd have to drink. Well, it says here, the night before, get plenty of relaxation and don't think about the marathon. Oh.
And Chris did his final heart rate reading.
This heart monitor has helped me immensely. You can see exactly where your failings lie, and you can act accordingly.
Marathon day itself, time to get ready.
There you are, that's the number.
And of course, those all-important computerised checks to make before the off.
It's been a hard grind.
Chris finished in just over 5 hours, with Edward just a few minutes behind him. Exhausted and elated, we caught up with them after the race. Would they use computers to help them train next time?
I'd certainly use the computer again. Whether I do the marathon again, well, I'd have to think about it.
Let's face it, buying a computer is a baffling business, at least with cars. One car looks different to the other, different colours, different sizes, whatever. Computers all look the same to me. All the same, aren't they, Carol?
Well, they are. They're kind of grey or black boxes by and large. But if you're buying a computer, there are three very important things to remember. The processor is the equivalent to an engine in a car. The more powerful it is, the faster your computer will go. The second and third things are the RAM and the hard drive, are two different kinds of computer memory. Now, the bigger they are, the more space you'll have to work with. So remember all of that, and now watch Adrian's dazzling guide to the best computer buys on the market.
20 years before today's bands had tuned into what computers could do for their music, this man was already a wired superstar. Rick Wakeman, regarded as perhaps the best rock keyboardist ever. And member of the supergroup Yes. And today, playing at the American College in London, but on a different sort of keyboard. Rick Wakeman, specially for Computers Don't Bite, with fellow band members Julian Procaza from What PC magazine and Adele Dyer of Personal Computer World. They said yes to a special Computers Don't Bite challenge to choose Britain's best value PCs.
I've now got 4 huge computers in the studio doing a multitude of tasks. I've got 4 in the home, I've got 2 in my office, my daughter's got a computer, my son's got a computer. I really don't know how we could manage without them.
Order! Order, house must come to order.
This woman needs their help. Candice Johnson-Cole, a busy PR executive for the parliamentary lobbyist Charles Barker. She's looking for a new PC.
The computer I've got at the moment is nothing but a glorified typewriter, really. A lot of the computers that I've seen in the shops are far too expensive. I want something nice, but something that's not going to cost me the earth.
And if she wants good value, here's a tip from the experts.
High street stores specialise in the big brand name PCs, and these won't always give you the best value for money. The best deals are to be had through the direct vendors, the manufacturers that sell by mail order straight from their factory to you.
In the bargain price range, our band of testers had £800 to choose a basic computer for Candice. For that, you'll get a decent starter machine with a CD-ROM drive and speakers. But if you want a printer, you'll pay a bit more. They're top three. Take it away, Flo.
And it's top of the PCs. Welcome, popular PC pickers. Now, in the 800 price range, 3 mail order entries. At number 3, the Pro 2 from Roldeck. It's a steal at £799. At number 2, the Evesham Vale Prestige Media 98, £799 again. But at number 1, it's the Homebase K6 from Paragon, £809 PC pickers. Great stuff.
It's got a fast processor, bags of memory, a lovely monitor, and if you want a multimedia PC for £800, this is ideal.
Great for starters, but Crufts Junior Dog Handler of the Year, 15-year-old Helena Hutchins, wants something a bit more upmarket. With Mum Jenny and Dad Eric, her family want to upgrade their current machine to a computer with a faster processor in the mid-price range.
We're ready for a better computer now because we're a little bit more confident with the type of machine that we've got at the moment, and we're now finding its limitations.
Mid-price PCs start around £1,200 to £1,300. For that you get more memory, better components and a snappier design. OK, so what's top of the hit parade this time, Fluff?
In the mid-price range PC pickers, and capturing that number 1 slot, it's the Mesh Elite Titan with a massive 6.4 gigabyte hard drive, and for £1,300, that's incredible, oh, not half.
Why did we choose the Mesh Elite? Firstly, big 17-inch monitor, great if you're going to be staring at your screen all day. Lots of memory, huge hard drive, good graphics card. Basically, it's a good all-round PC and it represents great value for money.
But what if you dream of a PC that's as fast as they come? A Ferrari for your desktop with all the bells and whistles you'd ever want. Would the price break the bank? The Lamborghini Diablo Roadster. 207 miles an hour, £184,000. I can't afford it. A totally brilliant car, but totally out of the question for us mere mortals. The great thing about home PCs, though, is that the very best kit, the fastest equipment, is within our reach. Which is good news for Ben McMillan, an aircraft photographer. He's got about £2,500 to spend, and he can't afford to skimp on quality.
What I need is a machine with a large, clear screen, high processing power, and a large hard drive so that I can scan in and store all the images that I take every week.
Well, PC pickers, now we're talking luxury, right? So, which one's top of the pops? An absolutely monstrous 14.4 gig hard drive, 19-inch monitor, and an Intel 400 processor. The Dell Dimension XPS R400, super fast PC pickers.
But at the end of the day, hard drive memory, 14 gigabytes in the Dell. Dell wins it.
That's it for this week. We hope we've given you the urge to log on, boot up and explore cyberspace if you want to, but you still don't know how. Then today the BBC launches a special campaign which offers a free hands-on starter session somewhere near you. Call the Learning Direct line on 0800 100 900 to find out where.
That's 0800 100 900, and there's loads of stuff on the Computers Don't Bite website. But if you're a bit of a clown like me, and you want a really detailed, slow, step-by-step guide to computers, then why don't you give our sister programme a whirl? It's on BBC Two's Learning Zone, and it's called Computers Don't Bite, Getting Started.
But here next week...
A web of romance finding love in cyberspace. Chris Akabusi logs on with the Scouts, and Spielberg watch out, Bobby Davro turns movie maker.
And that's at the same time, 7:30. Next tonight.